And what is up, everybody? I can't believe I actually have to do a second uh, rant on this. I really don't. On the whole, you know, fiasco that was Metamoris's main event this past Friday. Um, just finished watching Gracie breakdown of the fight, and I love Henry Gracie. I love Hito Gracie. I love the Gracie breakdowns. I love Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I'm a purple belt Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I was an instructor for 4 years. They were way too biased on this breakdown. Uh, One is like there was several exchanges of knees. It wasn't uh, it wasn't it wasn't the whole it was like, oh yeah, just one knee heard around the world. No, it was an exchange of knees between the both of them. It just so happened that the one that connected, and then he says that he didn't hit him in the groin at all, and that could not be any further from the truth. Let me explain to you, since uh, Hannah Gracie didn't necessarily see what was going on. Yes, the knee hit the pelvis area, but what about the rest of his leg? Okay, here we have Royce Gracie's action figure, UFC action figure. Now, normal Muay Thai knees, right? When they get thrown in, a lot of times you have that you point the toes down and you're pointing all this forward. And Royce Gracie didn't do that. His knee was hanging like this. Yes, he threw the knee, but his shin right here, that's what caught Ken Shamrock's cup. And for them to say that, oh yeah, there's no 3-second delay, every guy knows. And this is, and I stressed this before, the delayed reaction is very common. Because sometimes you get hit, and even Eddie Murphy in Raw was talking about how you could just graze that, and sometimes that's even worse, because what's gonna wind up happening is it's like you think it was like, did I just get, oh snap, there it goes. Yeah, it always it doesn't always cause a delayed reaction, but a lot of times it does. And to better clarify, I got Dan Severn's figure here. Unfortunately, UFC didn't make a Ken Shamrock figure because Dana White doesn't like Ken Shamrock or anybody with the last name Shamrock, for that matter. So what happens is, when, as you can see right here, he throws the knee towards the pelvis right there, but where's his shin? See? That's more or less what happened. And the way Ken Shamrock reacted, he could have handled it better. He was justified in his actions. However, he could have handled it better, a lot better. And even Royce Gracie admitted to hitting him in the groin. And if Royce Gracie's team would have listened to me, if Metamoris would have listened to me, we wouldn't have this problem. In one of my previous rants, as a matter of fact, a couple years ago, I said they should have this third fight in Metamoris, where the Gracie had his rematch with Eddie Bravo, and Renzo Gracie had his rematch with Sakuraba in Metamoris. So Royce Gracie is pretty old. Ken Shamrock is very old. So no big money promoter in their right mind, and like I said, Bellator is run by idiots. No promoter in their right mind would back this. But if you do it in Metamoris, where there's constantly mixed weight jiu-jitsu matches, and you could do that till you die, pretty much. Okay, I was like, okay, fine, go ahead, do it that way. If they'd have done it that way, we wouldn't be having this nonsense going on right now. So Henry Gracie, seriously, man, I like you, but dude, get with the program. All right, I understand that's your uncle, but get with the program. I'm pretty sure it wasn't intentional, but yeah, it was an illegal strike. That victory, unfortunately, it victory as it was cheap. It was a cheap victory. Boys Gracie, no disrespect, I love you, but that was a cheap victory. This has to have an immediate rematch because this is ridiculous. And I pray to God it's not in Bellator. I really do. But you're both signed to Bellator, so that's probably when it's going to happen. And most pro- most probably, it's probably going to be a big draw because of what just happened. And after that, nobody's going to want to see Bellator again. I'm done talking. You guys have a good night.